Golden State, blowing a 3-1 lead in the 2016 NBA Finals.
Let's cook!
73 games.
Let's fucking cook!
Hold on. Let's get this shit. Let's get this shit. Let's get this shit. Let's.
Culture gang, culture gang, culture gang. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Hey, y'all seen that title, bro? Doing a reaction to McCockiner's biggest vlog.
Yeah, I don't know why you said cocked and then big. You good?
The biggest jokes by every NBA team, bro.
Who's your team? Are you a Hawks fan? Are you a Clippers fan? Are you a 76ers fan?
I'm a Lakers fan.
Are you a Kings fan?
We've had our moments for sure.
I'm a Thunder fan. We've had a couple moments. Shout out to KD.
And then he's gonna snake y'all right after that. So go ahead.
Yeah, listen, man. I'll never forgive him. He's dead to us.
Understandably, bro. But no, we about to get into this video. I know it's gonna be a good one. It's a long one. Kick back, relax, get some popcorn, get some snacks.
I know it's been a while, so
For sure.
we're giving you a long video to start out.
Yes, sir. So let's get into it.
And if you enjoy us, like, comment, subscribe, or don't do any of that if you think you're better than us.
No, you do all of that even if you don't like us. Let's get
No,
to
hey
it.
man,
They don't get a choice.
they don't get a choice.
Let's get it.
There's nothing better as a sports fan than watching
I'm sorry, his voice is ASMR.
multi-million-dollar
Okay.
superstar athletes poop themselves in the clutch, as long as it's not your favorite athlete. Because the NBA playoffs are almost here, and because I'm such a negative person, this video is going to look at the biggest chokes by every NBA team. Enjoy.
go.
The Atlanta Hawks getting swept in the 2015
No,
Eastern
nobody
Conference
care about
Finals
that.
after winning
Mike
60
Budenholzer
games.
is a
2015
horrible
Hawks
coach
were
to me.
called the Spurs of the East for
He's
their
trash.
unselfish basketball and for racking up wins.
Cool.
So it wasn't a surprise
Giannis
when
won
they
that
got
ring.
to the
He
Eastern
didn't win
Conference
that ring.
Finals. But what was a surprise
Rivers
was
won
how
the ring,
easily
too.
they were manhandled by the Cleveland Cavaliers, led by the newly returned LeBron James. Not only was Atlanta swept in embarrassing
That's kinda
fashion,
crazy.
Kyrie Irving
But
missed
with
2
no
games
Kyrie
with
or
foot
Kevin
injuries,
Love.
and Kevin Love didn't even play at all.
I'm sorry,
It was
when
yet
your
another
second-best player in
example of
that
why
series was
people
Kyle
don't
Korver,
take
that
the
says a
Hawks.
lot.
Boston Celtics losing Game 7 at home in the 1973 conference.
All right, new
finals
rule. Anything like before 80, you can't use in videos.
after winning 68 games. The
18,
Celtics have raised 17 championship
Worst
banners
era.
and been to
Cocaine.
22 NBA Finals, but the team with the most
Who was
regular
on
season wins
crack?
in franchise history was a team that didn't even make it that far. In fact, for all the legendary
Yeah.
players the Celtics have, including Bill Russell and Larry Bird, it was a team that had neither of those that won the most games. The 73 Celtics were just on the upswing a few years after the legendary Bill Russell had retired and the Celtics dynasty had seemingly ended.
R.I.P. the
Russell
Bill.
dynasty holdover John Havlicek, paired with MVP Dave Cowens and JoJo White, were ushering in a new era of Celtics dominance. And after dispatching the Hawks in the conference semis, they went to the Eastern Conference
He said,
Finals
would you
versus
call
the
him
Knicks,
default Hall of
and
Famer?
John Havlicek got hurt, and that's when things got messed up. The Knicks went up 3-1, but the Celtics did fight back to push to Game 7 at their home court, where they ended up losing in embarrassing fashion by 16 points. Hey, at least the next year they would win it all. Brooklyn Nets blowing a 3-2 lead in the 2021 Eastern Conference semifinals, where Kevin Durant's foot was
Are you serious?
Bigfoot.
famously on the line at the end of Game 7. The 2021 Brooklyn Nets were a star-filled team for a team
Oh my God, you're so petty.
I hate KD, yo.
You're so petty.
I hate him as a player, obviously. I don't know. The man seems like a cool dude.
Hey, you know he's gonna sub us, right?
Please do.
On his burners. Yeah,
Hey, Kevin,
shout
I like
us
you.
out, KD.
Kevin, I like you as a person.
No, I
You're
don't.
like my villain.
I don't. So yeah, hit us up on your
That's
burners.
insane. That is
team
insane.
that really didn't have much history. With the additions of Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and a trade for James Harden, people thought the Nets were title favorites, and rightfully so. In the first round, they just
Why does he look washed in that picture? Just Harden. He just looks washed.
Why does he look washed?
breezed
That's
through
lost.
Boston. And it
Hate
looked
it.
to be more of the same in the second round, as they went up 2-0 on Milwaukee, a team who at the time was known for choking in the postseason. But after losing a close Game 3 and Game 4, Durant had a historically dominant performance performance in Game 5 put Brooklyn up 3-2. The three-headed monster of Durant, Kyrie, and Harden was basically just Durant at this point, as Kyrie was injured and Harden was injured as well. Although Harden would come back to play in Game 7, which, to be honest, helped Milwaukee more than it helped Brooklyn. Game 7 was an amazing legendary game with both sides going back and forth the entire way, leading Milwaukee to a 109-107 lead with 1 second left, which is when Kevin Durant hit an amazing shot that appeared to be a three-pointer that would have put the Nets in the Eastern Conference Finals. However,
we found out, imagine his foot wasn't on the line.
They went in the chip.
That would have been one of the most iconic shots in NBA history.
By
far.
Better than any Bron shot.
Absolutely. That would have been his defining moment. That would have been better than 09 up against Orlando. That would have been KD's defining moment right there.
Upon review, it's revealed that Durant's disturbingly large feet were just on the three-point line, making it a two-pointer and sending the game into overtime. In overtime, the Nets took an early lead, but they quickly ran out of gas, as Durant finished the period 0-6, and the Nets overall as a team shot 1 for 12 and ended up losing 115-111 and their season. Next season, Harden was traded, and Durant, Kyrie, and Harden ended up with just one playoff series win in a year and a half. Charlotte Hornets blowing a 3-2 lead in the 2001 Eastern Conference semifinals. It was pretty hard to find
I don't care. What have they ever... At least the Timberwolves have made a conference finals. These motherfuckers haven't even made a conference finals. Even the Clippers have made a conference finals.
Choke for a franchise that's never even made a conference finals and only won 4 playoff series in their entire existence. But for those hardcore Hornets fans, this one probably stings the most. The Hornets went up 3-2.
Shout out Hornets fans if y'all exist.
Shout out my nigga Cam.
Very talented Bucks team featuring Ray Allen, Big Dog Robinson, and Sam Cassell, who just so happens to be the most handsome player in NBA history. Take my word for it. Up 3-2 with Game 6 at home, the Hornets tied the game at 97 with 46 seconds left and were this close to moving on, but Ray Allen made a 3 and the Hornets went cold, pushing it to a Game 7, where a valiant effort fell short as the Bucks won 104-95 to end the Hornets season and go on to the Eastern Conference Finals versus the Sixers. Chicago Bulls losing the 2011 Eastern Conference Finals in 5 games after winning 62 games with MVP Derrick Rose. 2011 was the first time since the Bulls dynasty of the 90s.
Y'all know, this man, he don't hate D Rose. I would say he doesn't hate D Rose. He just thinks he's like prime D Rose is severely overrated.
Like pretty much, we're talking about a dude that couldn't hit a 3, averaged about 5 assists a game, and was at best an average defender. What do you want me to say? Like, people are like, his dunks look cool. Ja's dunks look cool. Nobody's claiming he's the best player in the league.
I'm with you. I do think prime Derrick Rose does get a little bit too much credit.
From our generation, because it's nostalgia.
Because
we were in middle school.
Yeah, it's like, it's cool, but he wasn't him. LeBron was clearly better.
You think Bron? Yeah, Bron, Tim Duncan, Kobe.
Kobe was clearly better.
Dirk? Yeah,
Dirk was better. Tim Duncan.
Like, it's an argument that it's an argument that he's it's an argument that he's top 5. Really. In that that season,
I would say KD at the time.
I'd take KD over.
Where the Bulls were actually really good. First-year coach Tom Thibodeau helped make the Bulls a defensive juggernaut, and that, combined with hometown kid Derrick Rose's amazingness offensively, the Bulls led the league in wins with 62. And Rose won a questionable MVP, let's just say. Nevertheless, everybody predicted the Bulls would meet the newly formed Big Three Miami Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals, and that's exactly what happened. Game 1, though, was not very competitive, as the Bulls won by 21 points to take a 1-0 lead, and at that point, everybody in Bulls land thought the title was theirs. But this would be the closest the Bulls would ever come to a championship in the D. Rose Thibodeau era, although nobody would know it at the time. In 3 of the last 4 games, Chicago either tied the game or had a lead in the 4th quarter and couldn't do anything with it. But the most embarrassing loss was probably the Game 5 loss that ended their season, as they were up 12 with about 3 minutes left before D. Wade and LeBron completely took over, giving Miami a lead with 30 seconds. seconds left. The game and the Bulls season would end with Derrick Rose getting blocked by LeBron, concluding a series where Rose had more shot attempts than points. This is easily the worst thing Derrick Rose has ever done. Cleveland Cavaliers losing the 2010 Eastern Conference semifinals in 6 after leading the league with 61 wins during the regular season, and lost in the conference finals to Orlando should be a bigger show, considering that was what prevented us from getting a LeBron-Kobe final. But considering LeBron played out of his mind in that series, and the Magic just straight up shot the hell out of the ball, I look at that less of a choke as just bad luck. However, the next year, which would be the last in LeBron's first tenure in Cleveland, was way more unexplainable. After easily dispatching the Bulls in the first round, the Cavs were expected to win pretty easily over the Celtics in the conference semis, and after going up 1-0 and 2-1 respectively, things were going as normal. But then something happened over the last 3 games. There are rumors about certain off-court shenanigans that might have had an impact on the rest of the series, but for the final 3 games, LeBron James did not look anything like the dominant MVP he had been for the last 2 years, being extremely inefficient and turnover prone. And in all 3 games, the Celtics won pretty handily. Most notably, the Game 5 at home with the series tied 2-2. The Celtics destroyed the Cavaliers by 32 points, and LeBron scored just 15. Game 6 would see the Celtics shut the casket on LeBron's first tenure in Cleveland with a 94-85 win. But everybody who watched the series knows that he was nowhere close to being his best. And considering the fact that really none of the losses Cleveland had were close, just makes this all the more of a choke. Dallas Mavericks losing the 2007 Western Conference first
shout out Dirk.
in 6 games after winning 67 games with MVP Dirk. Really, this came down to either 2 choices. I could have gone with the 2006 finals, where the Mavs were so close to going up 3-0 before blowing the last 4 games.
It's real easy to lose to the refs and be late.
Look, he lost by 2 here.
No, I'm saying it's real easy to lose to the refs and be late.
All right, Mark. Then they went to OT, lost by 1, and then lost by 3.
Bro shot a biblical amount of free throws.
They rebounded the next season to win 67 games,
Highly
most in the NBA, and Dirk Nowitzki won his first and only MVP. It looked to be smooth sailing come postseason time, but that's not what happened. They played against a spunky, upstart, and fun Golden State Warriors team that was just lucky to make the playoffs. And after Golden State destroyed them in both Game 1 and 3, take a 2-1 lead, Game 4 was basically the season for Dallas, and they ended up losing at the very end to fall down 3-1. They would extend the series to 6 games before they ended up losing in embarrassing fashion by 25 points in Game 6. Dirk Nowitzki played so far below his regular MVP standards in the regular season that he didn't even lead the Mavericks in scoring in the series. It led to a very, very uncomfortable MVP press conference where he got the award after he'd already been eliminated. Dirk would eventually right the ship with his legacy and win a championship, but there is a reason why he had a bit of a choker label before 2011 came around. Denver Nuggets blowing a 3-2 lead in the 2019 Western Conference semifinals as a 2 seed.
It was between is this the CJ McCollum Memorial Series?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's the best I ever seen him play.
It was
this series.
I was rooting for the Nuggets too, bro. I was like, y'all got this. My city finally finna go to the conference. Nope.
Yeah, you're going to have to wait a couple years.
At least we got there, but it was at my expense.
This series or the 2009 Western Conference Finals when the Nuggets had the series tied 2-2 before losing in 6, but I went with the more recent series. Following a monster...
We got fucking swept.
4 overtime win in Game 3 by Portland to put them up 2-1. People thought the Nuggets were cooked, but surprisingly enough, they fought back to take a 3-2 lead. After Portland won Game 6 pretty handily, it all came down to a Game 7 in Denver, and it was very, very competitive despite Damian Lillard playing like
that's what I'm saying.
The Nuggets kept fighting
back.
It's
the CJ McCollum.
I was so pissed off, bro. I was rooting for my Nuggets so heavily.
Portland Trailblazers ended up squeaking out
not my Nuggets, but my city.
196 win, thanks in large part to the Nuggets shooting 7 for 24 from the field in the fourth quarter, including 0 of 6 from 3. This playoff series that happened 5 years ago is the biggest reason Nikola Jokic doesn't deserve MVP this year. Yeah, I'm really smart.
Yeah,
Detroit
I'm really
Pistons
smart.
choking away the 1987 Eastern Conference Finals with Bird stealing the ball late in Game 5
and
losing
that moment
Game
was
7
a
on the
choking
road
moment.
by just 3 points.
So
I was
fair.
torn between using this or the 88 Pistons who lost
that
the
phantom foul. As a Lakers fan, I'm calling that out.
Bro,
That's a
Bruh,
phantom foul.
I've never seen a team benefit off of reffing like y'all.
Like this one, 2002. Yeah, this is, bro. I can't say 2020. We didn't benefit off refs.
I mean, y'all benefited off of a bubble.
That's everyone else's fault. Play the game.
Hey, guess what?
Even Dame was like, we tried.
Hey, guess what? MJ Warren out there hooping.
Playing a 3-2 lead,
TMJ.
but that loss was
TMJ
heavily
Warren.
aided by a pretty shitty call on Bill Laimbeer for a foul.
No, that is
gave
a phantom
Kareem
foul.
and the Lakers extra life. No, the reason 87 takes the cake is because it was much more self-inflicted. As I alluded to, the series tied 2-2 and a lead with just a couple seconds left in Game 5 on the road in Boston Garden, where teams almost never won. Isaiah Thomas famously had an errant inbounds pass that was stolen by Larry Bird and laid up and in by Dennis Johnson for the Celtics to steal the win and go up 3-2. Detroit would win comfortably in Game 6 to push it to a Game 7, and although the Pistons fought valiantly in Game 7, they ended up losing by 3. If not for that Isaiah brain fart at the worst possible moment in Game 5, there's pretty much no doubt that the Pistons seal the deal in Game 6 and go on to the final. Golden State, blowing a 3-1 lead in the 2016 NBA Finals.
Let's cook!
Winning 73 games.
Let's fucking cook! Yes! Let's do this. Oh man!
The arm motion is. He's like, let's cook. Let's do it.
Yo,
He's like, yeah.
okay. I love Steph Curry. I do. But his fans piss me the fuck off. His fans piss me.
You do not love him.
I do. He's in my top 5 favorite players ever.
do not
I
love
can't
him.
stand his fan base. They're the fucking worst.
It's just like little kids wearing Under Armour
No,
shoes trying
bro.
to shoot from half
It's starting to
court.
become grown men too, and it's pissing me
Oh, they're
off.
growing up now.
Grown men that I've seen Magic play. It's starting to piss me off. It's starting to piss me off how much they're glazing this guy who plays zero defense. And they're gonna excuse this shit
He
right
plays team defense.
And they give him-
He plays in a team concept. He plays in a team concept.
here. You've said on other videos, and I will pull up the tapes where you said
I
he's
said
a bad defender.
I said he's a horrible individual defender.
Okay.
He plays good in team concept.
Okay. But he's still my problem with him is his fan base. That's it.
Oh,
My inherent problem is his fan base and the
I
Warriors
like
fan
him.
base. Yeah, I love Steph. I just hate his fan base. Fucking hate his fan base.
yeah. I don't think those are real Warriors fans.
No, they're bandwagon fans and they're the fucking worst.
Yeah.
And they're still there, which makes me sick. 7 years later. Steph used to be my dog, man. I hate these fans. Let's cook,
really,
though.
was there any other choice?
Let's
Obviously,
cook.
You all know my feelings on this subject because I've talked about it ad nauseum. And I
Yes.
still talk about it ad
Yes.
nauseum because
Yes.
it's so fucking funny. To this day, Steph fans still use endless pathetic excuses to try and justify their modern day Jesus and top 2 player ever. Their words. not
modern
mine.
day
Blowing a
Jesus is
3-1
actually
lead with
crazy.
2 of the last 3 games at home. Here's the facts. You want to say Draymond got suspended was the reason why the Cavs won? Draymond was suspended for 1 game, rightfully so,
Clank.
because he accumulated enough suspension points.
That's his-
Maybe don't go around whacking
Clank.
and kicking people in the nuts.
Thank
the other
you,
one they
Barry.
say is, well, Andrew
Clank.
Bogut was hurt.
Andrew
Well, guess what?
Bogut.
Andrew Bogut in the series was a minus 25 when he was on the court. So let's not act like he was prime Akeem Olajuwon, all right? And the other one is, well, Steph was hurt, okay? Here's the deal. Steph missed no games due to injury. Clay missed no games due to injury. Iguodala missed no games due to injury. Draymond missed no games due to injury, okay? So I don't want to hear any excuses. The real reason your team lost this game and you blew the finals, and this is something that Steph fans just mentally can't come to grips with,
Right.
and why they are so radicalized and pathologically dumb, is that Steph Curry just straight up shit is
Pathologically dumb.
I've never heard that before.
What the
He said pathologically dumb.
pathologically dumb. Oh God. Go back.
pants. Guess who played pathologically dumb? Is it Steph?
That's crazy. That's kind of... They are though.
Oh, come on.
They are,
You're
though.
acting like
Oh, LeBron fans are bad too, and I'm one of them, but they're bad too.
okay.
They're bad too. They're okay. It's LeBron fans are bad.
Uh-huh.
Jordan fans are annoying.
Yeah.
Steph Curry fans are just dumb.
They're unbearable.
They're dumb.
They're unbearable to
And
me.
Kobe fans are delusional. So, and I'm a fan of all 4 of them, but I got to call out my fan base.
I'm not a fan of any of those players.
You're a Tim Duncan guy. Respect.
Yeah, you feel me?
I love Tim
I like
too.
watching college basketball, too.
At least Magic fans aren't delusional too.
No, they are straight up delusional.
Magic fans?
They said I've heard somebody say he'd be great in the modern era. Does he have a jumper? He'd be
I think Bird would be better.
Yeah, he'd be homeboy in OKC in the modern era.
Oh my God.
That's who he'd be.
Bird would be better now. I'll give you that.
Bird would be.
Absolutely, but Magic's still top 5 player of all time.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Curry just straight up shit his pants. Guess who played in Game 7? Draymond Green. And guess what Draymond Green did?
Talk about it!
He put up 32 points, 15 rebounds, and 9 assists. He had one of the greatest fucking Game 7s of all time. And all Steph Curry had to do in order to seal the championship was not play like complete crap. And what did Steph do? He went 6 for 19 for 17 points. He shot 1 for 6 in the fourth quarter, and he missed all of his last 5 shots. Okay? That is why the Warriors didn't win. Because Steph Curry choked, and then 2 weeks later, he was in the Hamptons begging Kevin Durant to come join his team, and they won the next 2 championships.
for 3 straight years.
The only reason why right now we all, including LeBron fans, have to listen to morons try and debate Steph versus LeBron all the time because they have the same amount of rings.
That is the one NBA debate I refuse to even talk about. I like. There's the LeBron Kobe. I'll do it. LeBron Jordan. Obviously, I'll do it. Steph LeBron is one conversation I refuse to. If someone starts talking to me about it, I'm walking away. I'm not going to respond.
I heard an argument once, and I thought it was a wonderful argument. They said basically Steph and LeBron at this point in their career still have a Hall of Fame career separating them.
You want to say 4 rings, cool. But the context behind those rings, who was better?
It's like 2 MVPs. They have 2 MVPs separating them.
All defensive teams. All NBAs,
all stars,
all-time leading scorer. If you want to use that, it's a whole gap. It's not a conversation. I don't. When people try to actually, there's people that have actually tried to have that conversation with me, and I don't acknowledge.
You have that conversation, Steph and KD.
I'll have that conversation with the kid because they don't know better.
No, I don't. I won't even.
I'll have a little fun with the kid and talk about it with them. But
you got to tell a kid straight up, go watch the tape.
That too. That's all I'm gonna do. And then with an adult, I'm gonna be like, you're too grown for this. You're too grown for this. You're too grown to not know better.
Flight reacts.
Rings as if Kevin Durant doesn't exist or as if Kyrie Irving never got hurt. But I digress. This Warriors choke will never be forgotten about, and I will personally make sure of that. Houston Rockets. The 3-2 lead.
Definitely. 27 straight threes.
7 for 44 from 3 in Game 7 at home. A part of me wants
7 for 44. Oh my gosh.
The Warriors continue to ruin my life.
To give the Rockets a pass for this because, as we know, Chris Paul went down with a hamstring issue after they went up 3-2. Just another example of Warriors' luck, but I can't let it go. Okay, this team, the Rockets, they're up 3-2, and in the second half of Game 6, they shot 10 for 34, scoring 25 points, which ended up in a blowout loss. But hey, not all was lost, right? They had one more
go to the
rim. Again, in the first half, they had an 11-point halftime lead, and then they proceeded to miss 27 straight threes and lose the game on their home court, and the world was a worse place because of it. And because of that, let's just move on before I get too angry.
Indiana, they had to miss an egregious amount of threes to lose that game. Just think about that. They missed 37 threes the whole game. Teams don't even take 37 threes in a game, and they missed that many.
The Warriors ruined my life.
Blowing a fourth quarter lead in Game 7 of the 1998 Eastern Conference Finals versus the Bulls. In an era full of watered-down plumbers and ice cream truck drivers, the 98 Indiana Pacers were the only team to take the Chicago Bulls to 7 games during their second three-peat, and really the only team that came legitimately close to actually beating them. Entering Game 7, the home team had won every single game in the series, and Indiana got out to a quick lead early on before Chicago fought back. But Indy did not go away easily. With 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, they actually had the lead against the Bulls, thanks to an Antonio Davis shot. But the rest of the game in the final 5 minutes offensively for the Pacers was shot. But
did you see that flop?
Final 5 minutes.
Oh no!
Was
that Steve Kerr?
That's a LeBron level flop.
Oh my God, that's James Harden.
It's just very, very bad.
The
An
bearded
offensive
dolphin.
foul, a turnover, a missed jumper,
Bearded
another
dolphin,
turnover, 2 made free throws, a missed three-pointer, a tip-in, another turnover,
Damn,
and
they
then
could've won
3
this
more
shit.
misses
They coulda.
ended the game with an 88-83 Bulls win, where they would go on to their 6th finals appearance and win their 6th championship
shot 3
against
for 12 in that
super
quarter.
class Zach, Karl Malone, and John Stockton. To make matters worse, Michael Jordan
When a superstar plays bad, the other team needs to capitalize off of that.
shot just 3
2010
for 12 in the
Celtics.
second half of this game, and the Pacers couldn't capitalize. Just another reason to hate Reggie Miller. LA Clippers
What?
blowing a 3-win lead
Oh,
in the 2020
definitely.
Western
Come
Conference
on.
semifinals after
Oh, for
getting
sure.
Kawhi
This is not
and
a
Paul
conversation.
George that offseason.
I watched all these games live.
Same.
The ones they choked.
Oh, same.
The 2020 Western Conference semifinals, which took place
Kawhi.
in the bubble, was supposed to be a formality for the inevitable
He gets
Lakers
too many.
Clippers.
Can we talk about it?
Conference
Kawhi
finals.
Leonard gets too many passes. I love
Yeah,
Kawhi.
yeah,
He gets
yeah.
too many
Oh,
passes,
for
bro.
sure.
He's like the most protected superstar
For
ever.
sure.
Is that?
It's because people, they conflate him being quiet with him being humble, and they're like, I don't like teasing humble people.
Yep.
But if we're really looking at it, man,
I respect Kawhi for that, but when he plays bad, and he is a superstar, he's an all-time great. I put him in my personal all-time top 20. He should get slander
He's
when he
all-
deserves slander.
all I'm saying is if y'all are gonna give Kevin Durant stuff, Kawhi Leonard. deserves
Kawhi
stuff.
Leonard deserves stuff as well. That's it. I just think Kawhi gets too many passes. That's
Yeah, oh for sure, I agree.
show. And it looked like we were right on track for that as the Clippers dominated to a 3-1 series
They were
lead.
up all
But not
3
only did
games
the Clippers blow a
at
3-1
the
lead in
fucking
the
half.
series, they blew
Up double
30
digits.
This is crazy to me.
How do you blow this? The first one, okay, fine, it happens.
I think that's
Cool.
partially on Doc Rivers. See, in the series,
I agree.
Doc Rivers was having Montrezl Harrell guard Nikola Jokic.
I agree with you, 100%. I'm there with you.
That's partly on him. I don't know why you still have Paul George in the game at that point.
You got so many options on the bench, bro. Their team was loaded. They had so much depth. Get some guy like what's his face, Lou Will.
Well,
Get him in there.
so I put Patrick Beverly gonna hit a couple shots
Yeah, he
before
gonna get a
Paul
couple
George
shots.
did that
Hit
series.
the fucking side of the backboard, goddammit.
It's Paul George is already terrible against the Mavericks, so I don't know why he'd be good against the Nuggets.
I get it. He had a lot of depression during the bubble, so I'll give him a pass for that. I'm not gonna slander him too much.
I'm not slandering him for his mental health. I'm just
No,
saying he
not at all.
played bad. That's all.
He did.
There's
so-
no excuse for playing that bad.
No. I don't want to hear we didn't want to win this ring. That's why I get mad with the bubble conversation. It's like we can make the jokes. They're
Like
funny,
who
but,
wants to
let's be
win the
real.
ring? Like everybody wants to win a ring regardless where it's played.
Exactly. Like we can make the bubble jokes. They're hilarious. They're fun to do. But let's be real. It's a ring.
It's a ring.
It's a ring.
It's a real ring. People, it is a real ring. Y'all gotta stop
Like
discrediting
we
a ring.
can make the jokes. It's funny and all, but like just because your team didn't try doesn't mean the Lakers deserve slander for trying to win an NBA championship.
It's
That's
an NBA
ridiculous.
championship. Guess
That's
what?
ridiculous.
They had a parade. You feel me? So it's like, why are we sitting here and just like removing a year from history?
It's ridiculous just because they don't like it. Bro, the narrative flipped. I watched it as it happened. As soon as it was clear LeBron James was going to win his 4th championship, the narrative flipped into the bubble doesn't matter. As soon as it was clear LeBron is going to win this ring, narrative changed. Immediately. I
Like
watched it.
let's pretend they lost to the Heat. Y'all would have been like, oh, that's a real ring.
That's a real ring, and LeBron would have been out of the GOAT conversation. He'd be 3-7, and he'd be out of the conversation.
So if you're gonna give him stuff for not doing it and not being clutch and not being a good player in these series, you gotta give him credit when he does.
When he does. Simple as that. It don't matter who he played. They made the finals. That's on Giannis. That's on Joel. That's on all them guys.
That's on them.
That's on Tatum. What do you want me to say?
Tatum, Brown.
Brown. What do you want me to say? It's their fault that LeBron got an easier opponent in the finals,
It's the Clippers.
And LeBron
fault he got to
capitalized
play
on
the
it.
Nuggets.
and LeBron capitalized on that. Simple as that. What is he supposed to do? Try to lose?
He's just supposed to give up on it if he's playing a bad team.
Exactly. Come on now. It's ridiculous.
13-point lead late in the third quarter in Game 5, just one win away from going to their first ever conference finals at the time. They also were up big at halftime in Game 6 before combusting in the second half of that
Combusting
game.
is
They also
crazy.
had a 7-point lead early in the second half of
God,
Game 7
Barry, bro.
before they completely crapped their pants. Paul
Crap
George
their
and Kawhi
pants is
Leonard
kinda
combined to
crazy.
shoot
No,
2 for 18
he's right.
in
They
the
did.
second half of Game 7, and the Nuggets blew him out. Just another example of the Clippers clippering. scoring. Los Angeles
Clippers
Lakers
doing
blowing a
Clipper
3-2 lead in the 1969
See? I
NBA
told you.
Finals after trading for Wilt Chamberlain. If there's
They got
any
fucked in
historical
69, bro.
comparison for the Big Three Miami Heat coming to
When you come up with some wordplay, okay, you're like you're an undercover lyricist for sure.
Hey, I just popped in my head. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, he a lyricist. Y'all better listen.
But no,
to him.
this is a bad one. This is bad.
Yeah, Wilt the Still.
together in
Don't get me
2010
started with
and
Wilt,
beat
yo.
the 1969 Lakers. As already armed with Hall of Famers Jerry West and Elgin Baylor, they added the best player in the league.
The rebounder though. Come on.
Then they
But
added
they got
the best nigga in the
But
league.
they had the rebound.
They were literally what the Warriors were in 2017.
No, about that.
Not to that extent, but they were
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
the same situation.
I feel like when you add a player of that caliber
Right.
to an already good team, you have 2 Hall of Famers, and at that point, they were consensus Hall of Famers.
Yep.
You gotta find a way to win the chip.
And they didn't need Will.
If we're gonna give KD stuff for not winning a chip with Kyrie and Harden
I'm a slander Wilt.
and Jerry West
Jerry and Elgin. And
And this
Wilt,
is
though.
just the way they lost it was unforgivable.
Special Wilt, though.
At the time, Wilt Chamberlain to an already formidable duo. Many people just considered the Lakers to be a shoo-in to finally get over the hump.
They
and win
should've.
the title. And that's how it looked as the Lakers jumped out to a 2-0 series lead. And they were on the verge of going up 3-1 before Sam Jones hit a clutch shot to win Game 4. Nevertheless, the
I would've
Lakers
been
bounced
hot.
back to win Game 5 and had 2 chances to finally overcome their curse with the Boston Celtics. But a
Nah, that's
9-point
ridiculous.
loss in Game 6 set up the legendary Game 7, which went
It
down
is
to the
legendary.
wire and featured a 40-point
Look at these shooting splits. Bro, you're not gonna
Jerry
blame
played
Will.
well.
You're not gonna
Oof.
blame Will.
But 7 for 8, though, for the whole game?
He just wasn't shooting. 14 to 29.
29 is a lot.
You got it.
Elgin was shooting a lot.
8 of 20.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. That is bad. Havlicek shot well. Bill Russell 2 for 7. Damn.
That's what I'm saying. Will actually play decent.
Yep.
triple
But still, fuck Will Chamberlain.
Havlicek. Oh my gosh.
double by Finals
He's
MVP
underrated to
Jerry
me,
West, who is still the only losing player to ever win the award. Armed with balloons in the ceiling, thanks to Lakers owner Jack Kent Cooke, the Celtics were pissed, and they played like it, as they were able to squeak out a 2-point win in a fourth quarter that featured Wilt Chamberlain asking out of the game due to an injury. Something that Bill Russell, who was playing his
Oh, that
final
lumbering
ever NBA
fuck.
game,
That nigga did not look hurt at all. What the hell was that?
Stop it.
Let me pull a Steven. What the hell was that?
Stop it, man. How you gonna? I don't.
No, it just
on
looked
a
weird.
side
It looked
note,
weird.
I don't
I
like.
believe he was
I
hurt.
don't like people like questioning people that are injured. Oh, you could play through that.
No, I
You're
believe he
not
was hurt.
them. How you
No,
gonna play?
no.
You get up
That's
and play
BS.
through it.
That's BS. I hate that. But no, that I was joking, but that he's probably was hurt.
yeah. On God.
and held against Wilt for years, causing a rift between the two. But nevertheless, despite Jerry West's excellence, the Lakers choked away yet another final series to the Celtics. The 8th time in an 11-year span they lost to the Celtics in the NBA Finals. Imagine if First Take was around back then. Memphis Grizzlies blowing 3 fourth-quarter leads
That's
in the
the
2022
one?
Western Conference semifinals versus Golden State with home
Ja
court
got
advantage.
hurt, bro.
The very brash and confident Grizzlies
Damn, blowing
faced
out
the
by 30 is
Warriors in the
crazy.
semifinals last season, and we all
Mr.
know how
It's a
it went.
parade
Game
inside
1
my
was right
city,
down to
yeah.
the wire, but a game the Warriors absolutely stole at the very end with a super clutch Klay Thompson 3 after a couple Steph Curry
Hey.
bricks. Memphis would rebound to win Game 2
Dylan
to tie the
Bricks.
series, but by that point, the Warriors had stolen home court advantage, and in Game 3, they blew out the Grizzlies by 30 points and also saw Ja Morant go down for the
Ow.
rest of the series.
Fuck
But
you.
despite Morant
That's
going
why
down,
Ja
the
was out
Grizzlies
the
had
series.
golden
Yeah.
opportunities to win Games 4 and 6 on the road, having fourth-quarter leads in both of them before their offense
Clank.
staggered and went nowhere late in the game with Dylan Brooks leading the charge. Stunner.
What the
I mean,
fuck?
I just can't believe that Steph Curry and the Warriors benefited from a superstar opponent getting hurt against
Oh
them.
my
I mean, when
God.
has that ever happened?
Here we go.
This was a series that if Ja Morant had been healthy, the Grizzlies could have won in 6.
No
Miami
facts.
Heat blowing a 2-1 lead in the
You got to.
2011 NBA
You got
Finals
to.
with a super team. There's really nothing
This is
that
like the quintessential choke. Sorry.
I wouldn't say It's the worst individual choke.
No, I'm saying this is quintessential.
Yeah. This
For
is
a
like the
superstar,
definitive. Yeah, this is the worst superstar choke.
If you think of a superstar choking, you think of 2011 Bron.
Simple. When I talk to people about LeBron and Jordan, this is the moment where I think the nail is in the coffin. For me, I'm a LeBron fan over a Jordan fan, but this is to me where the nail is in the coffin. I cannot put LeBron.
This
over
is why, for me personally, he has to win another ring and get MVP to make up for that.
What would have made up for me was 2018. Had he won that would have cleared.
That's what I'm saying. That have
That
another ring.
I can say here that you already haven't heard a million times over every
It
single
is the
day
most
from
talked
LeBron
about
haters.
moment, though.
This was a series that took place almost 12 years ago, and it still gets brought up at least 5 times a day. If LeBron
Maybe
haters
6.
could hold on to a job the way they hold on to this series, they'd be a lot more successful in life. But I digress. He probably
I
sweeps
just said
out
this
now,
in the chat the other day. Oh no!
Get him a job application.
I damn near word for word. I just said this in the group chat, bro. That is funny.
in this series if LeBron played anywhere close to his potential. Instead, for reasons that are still unknown and hard to decipher, LeBron completely crapped his pants, especially in the last 3 games, which were all losses for Miami.
A triple single is crazy.
LeBron being AWOL for most of, Miami had golden opportunities to win. In terms of biggest chokes ever, regardless of team, this is certainly up there, and LeBron James was the main culprit of it. But it is annoying how his haters act like it's the last series he ever played in. He's won 4 rings and 4 finals MVP since then, and it would have been more if not for Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving getting hurt, okay? Yeah, I'm a LeBron fan, so what? What are you going to do about it? You going to cry? Milwaukee Bucks losing 3 home games in the 1974 NBA Finals, including Game 7. The Bucks were looking for their 2nd championship in the Kareem era and their 2nd in 4 years. They led the league in wins and easily swept through the first 2 rounds to make the finals, versus a Celtics team that had some experience, but many thought, hey, the Bucks have Kareem. They should win this. The key stat, as I alluded to, is that the Bucks went 1-3 at home in this series. And after a famous game-winning shot in Game 6 in Boston Garden by Kareem forced the series to 7, many thought a legendary game
crazy
score when actually there really was nothing memorable about it, as the Celtics won by 15 points in a disappointing end to the Bucks season. Kareem would play just 1 more year in Milwaukee before going off to the Lakers, where he spent the last 14 seasons of his career. Had Kareem won this championship, he'd have 7 rings, and maybe he'd be considered the GOAT by a lot more people. Minnesota
I'll say this about Kareem's status. I don't think Kareem gets enough slander in these conversations. So he lost that final, goes to LA, misses the playoffs in his prime. Like, if anyone, like, let's say year 8, Cleveland misses the playoffs for LeBron. We're slandering him. Jordan misses the playoffs in 89. We're going to slander him. In the middle of his prime, this man missed the playoffs. You can bring up 2019. I don't think that's the middle of LeBron's prime. But then again, we don't know when the fuck that motherfucker's prime ends. But
he is like 4 primes.
I don't even know. But yeah, Kareem, to me, I think 3rd is a solid spot for him all time.
I can see why somebody would put him at 1 because
I can too. Yeah.
They got to watch him. You're gonna rate greatness higher when you're able to see it.
That is true.
But yeah, he deserves some slander. I think he did. I think I personally have him at 3 because he got to play with another top 5 player.
That's the thing. People forget, and like people who Mubashir, people who get mad and say, "Oh, Kareem, Kareem is the reason why the Lakers won." No, Magic was the driving force for that.
He's the engine of Showtime.
He was the engine of Showtime. You can't just say, "Oh, well, Kareem was the better player in his prime."
For 2 of those rings, at least we could say he wasn't.
Right. We can say the first one, Kareem should have won Finals MVP.
But even then, Magic had a
42, 15, and 7.
Yeah, great performance.
So
if the argument can be made, your supposed 2nd option played better in 3 of your rings. What are we doing here?
Exactly.
Like, what if Kobe just completely outplayed Shaq? There wouldn't be a discussion.
Don't get me started with that conversation.
There wouldn't be a discussion.
That is a conversation that pisses me off.
Blowing
Kobe fans are
3
crazy.
huge fourth
Shout out
quarter
the Timberwolves.
leads in
I love the
first
Timberwolves,
round
No, you
versus
don't.
Memphis
No, you
losing
don't.
in
Don't let him lie to
the
y'all.
Timberwolves shocked the
No,
world
you
by
don't.
winning
You
games.
hate him.
There was some of my favorite players on this team. Like,
Sam Cassell.
Like D'Angelo Russell.
Continue the video.
Game 1 on the road against Memphis
Fucking
last
Andrew
year
Wiggins.
before dropping 2 in a row.
Anthony Bennett.
Game 3 at home was the first time they blew a big lead late in the game,
Sorry,
but they
Prince.
rebounded in Game 4 to tie
Patrick
the series
Beverley.
at 2. Game 5 was
He
when
went
people
crazy.
started to realize,
Throwing his
hey,
shirt and
maybe
shit.
this isn't going to end well. As
Oh, when they won the chip.
The chip, the play-in chip.
He
was crying.
He's crying. He's like,
We did it.
we did it.
Head ass.
they blew a huge fourth quarter lead to go down 3-2. Surely it couldn't happen again in Game 6, right? Well, that's
This is a fun
exactly
series, though.
what happened.
I think
Yeah,
if it happens
Minnesota
again,
looked
it's gonna
like
be
the
fun
best
too.
team in the series 90% of the time, and yet they still lost in 6 because they didn't know how to close. New
Damn.
Orleans Pelicans blowing a 3-2.
No, literally that I gotta put that on. I gotta put that
Don't
one on coaching. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like if you have a lead, your team can't keep a lead. That was one of the worst coaching jobs. I call a timeout, do something.
Darvin Ham. Bro
Team
forgets
beat
he
the
has that
2008
power.
Western Conference semifinals and losing Game 7 at home. The 2008 New Orleans Hornets, as they were called then,
I
were
do not
easily the
care.
best team in franchise history. And it was also
I
Chris
care.
Paul's
Not this
breakout
franchise.
season where he arguably should have won MVP. After easily dispatching the Mavericks in the first round, the Hornets went up 2-0 on the defending champion Spurs with relative
That is
ease,
kinda
and
crazy.
Chris Paul was dominating. And after another blowout win in Game 5 at home to go up 3-2, it looked as though Chris Paul was going to make his first ever conference finals.
I wonder
in
if
just his
Scott
third
Froster
season, but that was
reffed
not
any
the
of
case.
these.
The Spurs won in a blowout in
Here you
Game
go.
6, and with Game 7 in New Orleans, the Spurs won a grind-out game 91-82, relatively easily. Nobody would really know it at the time, but this would be the first of many playoff chokes by Chris
Oh
Paul.
my God.
Paul didn't even make his first conference finals
zero
until
rings.
10 years after this series. New York Knicks blowing a 3-2
Oof.
lead in the 94
This is
NBA
bad,
Finals,
yo.
losing
No,
Shout out
games
my boy Hakeem.
This is wonderful. This is wonderful.
He hates the Knicks, yo.
I've never hated a team so much.
I hate the Clippers, by the way.
just 8 points combined. For many years in the 90s,
Flippers.
the Knicks couldn't get by Michael Jordan, but once Michael Jordan went off to suck at baseball in 94, they finally got
Bro, he is awful at baseball.
He
I think that needs to be in the GOAT debate.
Okay, no, that's not a real
at
conversation.
baseball. Hey, if LeBron played baseball, he'd be pretty
That
good.
is not a real conversation.
If LeBron played baseball, that's all. He wouldn't have sucked so bad.
Get out.
He wouldn't have sucked so
Get
bad.
out.
Finals.
He would have.
Unfortunately for them, there was another Hall of Famer from the 84 draft class waiting for them. Hakeem
Cooked. He
Olajuwon.
got
In
cooked.
what was billed as a matchup of two great
Not as bad as
centers,
Shaq.
Olajuwon completely took it
No,
dump
worse.
all over Patrick Ewing, who for the series
Shaq
had
got
132 points on 160.
Shaq got cooked and
So
swept.
if Ewing played anywhere close to his regular level, the Knicks would have had
No,
a
I'm
ring.
saying Patrick Ewing got fucking cooked, but I'm saying Shaq got swept
No.
and cooked. That's bad.
That's what I'm saying, though. Shaq wasn't quite in his prime yet. Where
Fair.
Ewing, this
That was
is
like
Ewing's
second-year
prime.
Shaq.
This is like
Which you Shaq haters, why do y'all use that? Like that, it was his third year, second year.
he was in the '94 draft, right?
No, 92. He got drafted
92.
92 first overall.
And that was
Third season.
third.
We can't slander. No, that's like slandering KD for 2012. Stop it.
Slander and Luka for losing to the Clippers. Like you can't do that.
That's slander anyone that loses to the Clippers.
Shots. That's not good. Despite Ewing sucking so hard offensively, the Knicks defense was
Pause.
so elite that it gave them a
Like, so
3-2
hard is
lead at
crazy.
5, one game away from the elusive title that had eluded Patrick Ewing ever
Woo.
since he came so heralded out of Georgetown in 1985. Game 6 was the Knicks' first chance to clinch a title since
Bro, I swear to
1973.
God, he just
and
had
John
grill
Starks
marks on his
played
back.
great,
He's
putting
getting
up
cooked the whole
27
series.
points with sharpshooting, making 5 threes. But unfortunately for him, his shot on the last possession to win the game was blocked by Olajuwon, sending it to a Game 7, where
Get out of there.
Damn.
Starks hard. Starks, who had arguably been the
Tony
Knicks'
Starks.
best player all series,
This was
shot 2 for 18
horrible.
in
Just
Game
kept
7,
clanking
including
shit.
0 of 11 from 3. But despite
0 for
this,
11
the Knicks
from
were
3
in
at
it to the
94
very
is
end,
abysmal.
losing by 6 points. If Starks had been even somewhat below average, as opposed to outright
They would've
terrible
won.
in Game 7, the Knicks probably win, and Patrick Ewing would have a championship on
He
his
wouldn't be the
resume.
reason, though.
Oklahoma City Thunder blowing a 3-1 lead.
Hey,
in the
hey, listen,
conference.
man, bro, we wasn't supposed to win that series.
No,
That's
but
that's
you were
that's
up
my
3-1.
that's my best argument. That this is pretty bad.
But you know it's bad, but that's your argument. I
Hey,
respect
hey,
it.
like you see who the coach is? Okay, cool.
He is
Western
bad for
Conference
Chicago. Right?
Finals to the Warriors.
He's terrible for us.
He's awful.
His starting Bro, his starting lineup was Russell Westbrook, Andre Roberson,
But Serge
Kevin Durant, Serge,
and Steven Adams.
There's not 2 good 3-point shooters in that lineup.
Yeah.
But
Y'all
we have
had
Dion
shooters.
Waiters coming
We
off the
had
bench.
shooters,
If
yeah.
you don't start
Get
Dion
Roberson out of
Waiters,
there. Get Roberson out of there. That's what he should have done at least. Get Roberson out of there. He should have been a 7th man.
Dion Waiters was a good enough defender to at least hang with Clay. You're like, you put your good defender in, and what happened in Game 6? He got cooked by Clay. The whole team did.
Game 6 Clay.
Now, I got to deal with Kevin Durant going to play for Golden State because Game 6 Clay happened.
Hey, at least,
And I'm not excusing Russell Westbrook either, but Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook shot better from the 3 in that series.
Yep. Hey, at least I get to have the 2016 finals because of this.
Yeah.
Fresh off of upsetting the 67-win Spurs in the semifinals, the Thunder jumped out to a 3-1 lead over the 73-win Warriors. Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook seemingly finally figured out how to play together in big moments, and the Thunder looked unstoppable. But after a close loss in
I was
Game
rooting for y'all
5,
so
it was
hard, bro.
Game 6 where the Thunder truly blew the series. Although, to be fair, a lot of it was just Klay Thompson making a bunch of insane shots, as he put up a 40 ball with 11 three-pointers. But the real culprit for the OKC collapse was
Thunder.
Kevin Durant. He scored 40 points in Game 5, but he was 12 for
Stat
31
pad in
shooting.
Game 7.
But Game 6 was his worst, as he was just 10 for 31 from the field, including 1 for 7 in the fourth quarter, failing to put the game away. In Game 7, the Thunder would keep it competitive most of the way before the Warriors pulled away late. Durant only took 14 shots in the first 40 minutes or so of the game, playing
And then somehow decides to shoot when the game's already over.
He starts stat padding at that point, bro.
conservative. And then, worst of all, a couple months later, he went and joined this 73-win team that he blew a 3-1 lead to, which ruined the league for almost 3 seasons. Thanks a lot, Kevin, you dick. Orlando Magic, getting swept in the 1995
causing
NBA
chokes, yo.
Finals, choking away
Hakeem
games
over
1 and 3
He's like, "Come here,
specifically. The 95 Magic are the
Hits him
only
in the
team
face.
post-1990 to defeat the Michael Jordan Bulls in a playoff series. And you would think that any team
Shout out
good
Nick
enough to
Anderson
beat
for
the
this
90s
series.
Bulls in a playoff series would be a shoo-in to win it all. And that
Nick Anderson, a funny fact,
4
he's
straight.
actually a good free throw shooter.
That's the thing.
Before
That's
then.
a choke.
After that,
If it was Shaq, okay.
he's a horrible free throw shooter. I think he needs to be a case. He needs to be a study case on how mental stuff can really affect your game.
Man, yeah. 4 straight is crazy, bro. You gotta make
All
at
he
least
needed to
one.
make was 1.
I mean, they probably still would have lost the series anyway, but that's still abysmal.
That's the best chance of winning a game, at least.
Yeah. Could have got something.
Shout out Nick Anderson.
That's what it looked like going into the finals, as they were
And Horace
facing
Grant.
the 6-seeded Rockets, who were the defending champions. But remember, the Magic had Shaq and Penny at their absolute best. It was expected to be
their best, I don't know.
competitive. But in
Penny,
game
yes.
one
That
in
was the best.
Orlando, the
Penny, yes,
Magic
but
had
Shaq-
the game
The
all
duo.
wrapped
Oh, the
up
duo
before
itself,
Nick
yeah.
Anderson choked away the game at the line, missing 4 straight free throws. Houston would go on to win, and this seemingly screwed with Orlando's mind the rest of the way. Houston would go on to win the series in a sweep, and the Shaq and Penny era in Orlando would only last one more season before Shaq went to the Lakers.
Real quick.
Philadelphia
Pause.
blowing a 3-1.
I want to say to y'all, we're about to slander.
68.
Fantastic. Real quick. For those of y'all that say Jordan would have went to that finals and won,
No, he wouldn't have.
no, he wouldn't have, because he didn't have a big man. They had a big man the next year. So
There's
figure it out.
there's stats out there that proves when they played the Rockets, they had trouble with Hakeem.
Who was gonna fuck with Hakeem Olajuwon? MJ was gonna get his numbers. but
Well,
don't fuck with Hakeem.
like Luke Longley. Like, come on now, what are we doing here?
They lost Horace Grant to who? Which is why they won. But then they got a big man to fuck with Horace Grant in '96. Dennis Rodman. What
I
happened?
think Dennis
Swept.
Rodman is one of the most underrated pickups for a dynasty ever.
But you know,
You
Jordan
literally,
fans is gonna give Jordan all the credit.
Scotty's like, I don't want him on the team. Jordan's like, we need the rebounds. We need the defense.
Yep. And then Jordan fans will be like, "Oh, it's all MJ. Oh my God, it's all MJ." Get off his
Like,
dick.
you're just salivating over him, but it's like his front office.
I love Mike, by the way.
His front office, when they needed to make moves, they make moves.
They made moves. Cleveland.
They're like, hey, Wilson Braun out there with a bunch of Make-A-Wish kids. and
It's still
we'll
hilarious.
see. And we'll see.
Yeah, pretty much.
Lead in the
And we'll see.
1968 Eastern Division Finals with 2 of the last 3 games at home with MVP.
That's what they were. Mo Williams. Mo Williams is
We'll
the best
see
player.
is crazy.
Mo Williams in that first Cleveland stint is the best player he's played with.
Shaq, but he wasn't peak
Wash
Shaq.
Shaq. Awash Ilgauskas.
God, Cleveland was.
Bro.
No, I saw this video and I almost had a stroke watching it. I'm gonna call him out. This dude named DKM, bro. He was literally naming Anthony Parker to make an argument that LeBron had good teammates his first run in Cleveland.
Anthony Parker.
Anthony Parker, bro.
So
And shout out to Anthony Parker. You're way better than I am at basketball, but still, like, come on now.
Thank you
like
for thank
Anthony
you,
Parker.
No. I'm sorry. Thank you for including that.
Like,
Let's admit he's good.
he's
at
better at that.
basketball
He's
than
great.
you.
Even in the NBA.
But
No, let's not go there. Fuck Kwame, we're not going there. But shout out to you, Anthony Parker. You're better than me.
The way Cleveland front office is moving, they would have probably got Kwame Brown to come help LeBron.
I would have stopped watching basketball. Sorry. Come on, man. What are we doing here?
Wilt Chamberlain. The 68 76ers were coming off of a legendary championship season, Wilt's first, and they continued that excellence in 68.
St. Louis
winning
Hawks,
a
baby.
league-high 62 games, breezing through the Knicks in the first round and going up 3-1 versus the Celtics, the team they had beaten a year earlier.
I'm
It
sorry, this logo's crazy. That logo's insane.
That looks racist.
looked as though the
It looks
Celtics
so
magic had
racist.
gone out for the second straight year. Game
Like
5
if that
in
logo was black, oh, they'd be out of there.
Philly was a chance for the
God.
Sixers to go to their second straight finals, but the Celtics won by 18. Game 6 in Boston Garden saw Boston win by 8 to push it to 7, where the choking really happened. The 76ers as a team shot 35% from the floor, and their MVP Wilt Chamberlain took just 9 shot attempts.
Don't
and
get me
scored
started
just
with Wilt.
14
That could be a whole
points,
nother
as
video.
the Celtics
We're reaching
wound
an
up
hour.
winning 196. This would be the last game Wilt ever played with the Sixers, as he
Damn.
was traded to the Lakers that offseason. Phoenix Suns
That he
blowing a
demanded.
2-0 lead.
This was wonderful. It was prime. It was
I was
prime.
so
Devin,
happy
it
for
was prime
Giannis.
Devin Booker.
I was so happy for Giannis, man.
I like how they got up 2-0 and they're like, yeah, the series is over. I like yeah, and then
I was rooting for Chris Paul, though.
Hey, listen, man. I don't like DeAndre Ayton, so it was wonderful to see.
Him crumble.
Oh, he got exposed.
But, I mean, it's Giannis. He's
2021
going to expose
NBA
anybody.
Finals. We
No,
find
but-
ourselves with
I like how Monty Williams coaching strategy
Build the wall, dude. What are you doing?
was I'll just put Ayton on him. And you know what Giannis did? Cook marks,
Put on the best player in the NBA.
grill marks.
Bro's getting cooked.
I think Aiden actually, if you like pay attention to his skin complexion,
Oh, my God.
is
Continue the
darker.
video. Continue the
He
video.
got cooked.
Continue the
with
video.
another Chris Paul team. After years of
That's
playoff
barbecue chicken.
heartbreak and poorly timed injuries, Chris Paul finally made the NBA Finals in 2021 and looked amazing in the first 2 games to give the Suns a 2-0 lead.
He did.
But let's just say it fell apart very quickly afterwards. The Suns would lose.
Imagine
each of
losing to
last
Bobby
4
Portis.
games of the series, most of which were winnable
He's
games.
going
But
crazy.
unfortunately,
I'm gonna pop
Giannis
the meme up above
Antetokounmpo
my head,
was
yo.
just too overpowering and dominating as he closed out the Suns in Game 6 with
You know what meme I'm talking
Yeah.
Oh, no.
They lost to Bobby Portis and Brook Lopez.
Oh, my God.
with a legendary 50-point performance to seal Milwaukee's first NBA title since 1971.
I love how he went to his family
Portland
first.
Trailblazers,
That
blowing
was
a
nice.
15-point lead.
Nah,
in the fourth quarter of
I
Game
like
7
what he
in
did. He went to McDonald's,
No,
ordered
my
50
God. 50
nuggets.
nuggets for 50p.
He gave him a 50 piece and
He
got
did.
one after that.
He did. That is an
2000
impressive
Western
closing game.
Conference
for
The
finals.
2000 Trailblazers were
Like I'm saying, if he wins a couple more rings, we gotta have a conversation.
Oh, definitely. He's over. I think he's second best power forward already.
I know.
Well, KG has to be in the conversation, though.
Dirk.
I put KG over Dirk personally. I value
Well, why?
defense. I value
Why?
defense. Defense. And they have the same rings.
But Dirk
Same
did
MVP
more
amount.
with less.
Kevin has a DPOY.
But Dirk has
I'll give
done
you
more
that.
with less.
I'll give you that. He maximized that 2011. Even though, I mean, let's be honest, if LeBron don't choke, they don't win. But
But
granted.
I'm saying, I'm gonna give them credit for winning that ring.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna
They
give
deserve
Dirk
it.
the most credit.
Yep.
And he had a flu game moment in there. What was a legendary moment KG had that championship? It's Paul Pierce who had it, right?
It's the damn promo at the end.
Who at the?
It was his wrestling promo at the end.
Anything is possible.
That would have been one of the most iconic moments in WWE history.
We're absolutely loaded with talent. So
Shout
much
out KG
so
though.
that Jermaine
That's my
O'Neal,
dog.
a future
Yeah,
MVP,
shout out Big Ticket.
Yep.
Best
poopy pants.
Timberwolf of all time.
And poopy pants.
The truth.
The
an
true law.
All-NBA player,
Hey man, what was the true story in that bathroom?
Oh my
rode the
god.
bench. Still, they ran into a 67-win juggernaut in the Lakers.
I'm not slandering
in
the
Phil Jackson's
Trailblazers
first
for this
year, and the only MVP
Rip
season
City.
of Shaq's career when he was at his apex.
this
Because
ain't
of this, they fell behind 3-1
For me,
after 4
I'd say
games, but they fought back,
2019
winning Game 5
Conference
on the
Finals.
road and Game 6 at home to force the deciding Game 7.
Yeah, why is that not on there? They lost to KD-less
2019
Warriors
Conference Finals, yo.
and got swept.
And they were up, weren't they? At some points in games near the fourth, they were up.
Dame became
Yeah,
Andre Iguodala's son.
Yeah, I'd say 2019.
Yeah,
But this is a
that
good one.
definitely worse than this one.
This is fair, I guess. But
play. They came out kicking ass through 3 quarters,
Yep.
but as I alluded to in the 4th quarter, it just completely fell apart as they shot 5 for 23 and scored only
Shout
15
Scotty.
points, losing the game. The Lakers would go on to win the next 3 NBA championships.
I'm saying
while the
D-Wade won a ring without LeBron. Scotty didn't win one without Jordan.
Trailblazers
Scotty's not on
wouldn't win
D-Wade's
another
level.
playoff series until 2014. Sacramento Kings blowing a 2-1
This is not a
lead
choke. This
and a
is-
3-2
this is
lead
being
in the
fucking
2002
robbed.
Western Conference Finals while
And I'm a
losing
Lakers
Game
fan, yo.
7
Die
at
hard.
home and over.
They got
Basically,
The series is
basically,
famous for its,
I feel like
question-
the Lakers jersey, they needed to do a design change that series to have just stripes on it.
Continue the video. You're
Just
done.
black and white
You're
stripes.
done. Continue the video.
officiating in Game 6.
This is almost
But
an hour
let's
long.
not
Y'all still
overlook
here.
the fact that the Kings were one shot by Robert Horry.
Oh my
away
God,
from
it
going
is
up
that long?
3-1. After
I
losing
don't
Game
care.
4 by 1 point on a buzzer beater,
At
the
this
Kings hung
point.
on to win by 1 point in Game
We
5
having good
after
conversations
Kobe
here, yo.
bricked a shot at the buzzer. With 2 chances to go to the NBA Finals, the Kings lost the infamous Game 6 before having
Stop
Game
it.
7 at home at their home court. As I alluded
The
to
infamous
earlier.
Game
For all of
6.
the crying and complaining about the referee,
Lost,
the fact is
robbed.
that the Kings had many opportunities.
They did
to
have
put this game
opportunities.
away, especially in overtime.
Bro,
But in
terrible
overtime,
last
they
minute.
went just 3 for
Oh,
12
no.
from the field and had no answer for Shaquille O'Neal. As the
I mean, who
Lakers pulled
does?
away to win, and they
Time
would go on
check.
to win their 3rd straight championship. The last 3
They had to get
in
David
North
Robinson
American
and
sports
Tim Duncan
today.
on his
the
ass.
Antonio Spurs blowing a 3-2 lead in the 2013
Come on,
NBA Finals.
David,
This a
With a
choke?
5-point
David
lead
Robinson
with
was washed.
Yeah, true.
3
This
seconds
is a
left in
choke,
Game
though.
6. One of the worst collapses
This is-
of all
this is my
time
favorite
happened
NBA
to
series.
one of
It's
the
a
most
choke.
respected
It's a choke.
franchises of all
They were
time.
up
Kawhi
3-2.
Leonard missed a
The
free
Spurs
throw.
Oh,
took
yeah.
Tim
a
Duncan
2-2
missed
over the
a
66
The tip,
win
yeah, they were
Super
up 3-2
team
and
Miami
Greg
Heat
took
in
them out.
2013.
Yeah.
1 win away from their
For
first
Boris Diaw.
championship, and
Who?
their first in 6 years.
Boris
After a
Diaw,
furious comeback
Good
by
role
LeBron
Who?
James in the
Good role
fourth quarter
player.
gave Miami the
Stop
lead, the
it.
Spurs weathered
Who?
the storm, taking the lead right back and forcing some turnovers.
This is my
to
favorite
the
game in
94-89
NBA history, yo.
lead with 30
Legit.
seconds left. LeBron hit a 3, cutting it to 2. And
Oh,
Kawhi
y'all
Leonard
forget
scored
that,
a
though.
pair of free throws, making it a 3-point game. LeBron missed a 3, and it was rebounded famously by
1-3.
Chris Bosh and kicked out to Ray Allen for a famous
I get
game-time
goosebumps just
Hey,
watching
but,
that.
but that saved his legacy. Let's ignore all LeBron
Yeah.
did before that.
5 seconds left. The game went into
Let's
overtime,
ignore
which
all LeBron did before
But he
that.
would have lost.
Let's ignore all.
If Tim Duncan was in there, Bosh is not getting that rebound. Bro, come on.
Like, come on, man. What are we doing here?
Let's be real.
I'm saying let's be real. That was not LeBron's fault if they lost that game.
Nah, not at all.
Miami held on to win. Game 7 just felt like an inevitable Miami win, and that's exactly
Which
what
it
happened.
was.
But Game 7 in
That was
its
one
own
of
right
LeBron's
was a
best
classic
finals
game, going
performances.
down to the final minute.
That's it.
Including Tim Duncan
Besides
missing
2016,
2
I
point-blank
think that's his
bunnies that
best.
would have tied the game. Before
He wasn't
LeBron
great.
Put the game away for
If
good
y'all
in
remember,
possession.
LeBron wasn't great the other games. He really wasn't. It was Game 6.
In 2012?
It was Game 6 of the fourth quarter, and then
Game
the
7.
whole Game 7 where he was LeBron James.
I think that game specifically, this one got me back on his side. From
Oh,
leaving
Game 7?
Cleveland. Yeah. At that
Oh,
point,
you were mad when he left?
at that point, it was undeniable
That he's
the
the best player
basketball genius.
that he is. Yep.
And at this point, I'm like, he's one of the best to ever do it.
Bro, people forget he clutched up with this one. He hit that shot, and then he hit 2 free
Taking
throws.
the shot to
But
give
he's
the
not
team a
clutch.
4-point lead.
Kawhi's
Miami
locking
ended up
him up, though.
but he's not
winning
clutch.
Game 7 by 7 to repeat.
Please start watching
champions and
basketball.
Sending the Spurs home in heartbreak, but the Spurs would get their
Stop
revenge
watching
a year
Skip
later,
Bayless.
winning the 5th and final
The
championship
Exodus.
of the Tim Duncan
Oh,
era
no.
over the hated Miami Heat. Toronto Raptors getting swept.
Oh,
in the 2018
man.
LeBron
They
Toe.
won 60
after winning
games.
from
LeBron Toe
Miami.
was a whole
All you
thing.
need to know about how the 2018 Raptors season went
Shout out to
was
Mark.
they ran into LeBron James in the second round, and
Greatest
they
Raptor
did
ever?
not have a good time. They lost at the buzzer in Game 1.
Says a lot
got
about their
blown out in
franchise.
Game 2, and then LeBron
Kawhi
had a
saves that
infamous
shit from
off
being
the
poverty.
backboard game-winning shot in Game
Still
3
poverty
that effectively
franchise.
ended the
It's
series
just have a
before a
ring.
Cleveland blowout win in Game
No,
4.
poor
This
people
was
get
the last
nice things.
straw
Stop
for
it.
DeRozan
Stop it.
in Toronto as the Raptors traded for
I'm
Kawhi
poor.
Leonard that
I
offseason.
can
This
speak to
trade, mixed with LeBron going to the West and some injuries by the Warriors, resulted in the Raptors winning the title in 2019. But that doesn't change the fact that they got their ass kicked in 2018 pretty bad.
Yeah.
Utah Jazz choking away
Oh,
4-4
97.
leads in games 1, 5, and 6 of the 1997
What are you
NBA
doing,
Finals.
bozo?
It took the duo of John Stockton and Karl Malone 12 seasons to
Yo, John
Jesus
Stockton.
Christ.
John Stockton is the most overrated player in NBA history, by the way.
Tell him why.
I went and watched this series, and I went and watched 98.
Hmm?
This man does the same fucking play that you and I can do anytime we go to the rec. Brings the ball up with his right hand,
Yep.
dribbles over to the left wing,
Mhm.
does a basic ass crossover to his left,
Yep.
and just waits for the pick and roll.
Yep.
With it, dribbling with his left.
Yep.
What the
Bro, he's a dirty player.
on top of that, and he don't take shots. If you know, you know.
together to finally make an NBA Finals. 12 is an
conspiracy
important number
theorist.
to Karl Malone, but I won't get into that
Kyrie.
right now. Here's what you need to know. Basically, Karl Malone not only is
In
a
that
terrible
case-
Let me
person, but
stop.
he's also one
Let
of
me
the biggest
stop.
chokers in NBA history. He choked away Game 1
the
at the foul
fuck
line.
was
Game
that?
Oh my
5
God,
was
Greg
MJ's
Oster
famous
tag.
flu game where Karl Malone disappeared late in the fourth quarter.
Byron
and
Russell,
Game
bigger.
6 was the
Good
infamous
defender, though.
Steve Kerr game-winning shot where the Jazz
Jordan
missed a
pushed
bunch
it
of
off.
layups and a bunch of open shots and basically just forgot how to play basketball. They could have very easily beaten
Clay,
the Bulls
that
if
was
they had
aggressive,
just
Clay.
made a couple more shots. But thankfully for Chicago, Michael Jordan willed all of those shots out of the basket with his killer instinct, something that LeBron James has yet to learn. And finally, the Washington
not care.
Wizards, who really have
Their
been
coach was
relevant
Casey
as a
Jo- yeah, I really
franchise
don't give a
since
fuck.
the 70s, which also happens to be the time period that makes this list, as they
Oh,
got
the Warriors
swept
won?
in
Now
the
I hate it.
1975 NBA Finals by the Warriors after winning 60 games in the regular
You're a
season. I really
hater.
don't have any more to say other than the Bullets
to, bro.
were
You
Rick
gotta be
Barry's
consistent.
bitch all series. It's always nice to see another Barry succeed, even
You
if that
stupid.
Barry is a famous douche. Thanks
Really?
for watching, everybody. If you haven't
I know
already, please click that subscribe
Nah,
button.
shout out to Barry, man. That was a great video as usual. I know y'all love these Barry videos. I love these Barry videos.
We love Barry,
They're-
even though he's a Sheagles fan.
Sheagles. Man, I'm so glad he went off on 2016. The Warriors won. The OKC won. Nah. The Warriors won. We gotta.
I was happy with a couple of them. The Hawks won. A lot of people don't talk about the Hawks just being a franchise of chokers.
They're pretty bad. They're pretty bad. Like their last ring was with Bob Pettit. And I mean,
But I like Ice Tray though. But
Maestre.
and then Dirty Lollipop.
Oh goodness gracious, man! Hey, y'all let us know in the comments what's your favorite team, bro.
And give us suggestions. We getting back on the grind.
Yep, we back to it. We got a new setup, so we're gonna be here all the
And
time.
this is Ron Artest Studios.
Ron Artest, Muhammad Ali. Boy, let's cook the war. Man, y'all gonna have to understand. I'm a forever slander the 2016 to 2019 Warriors. I'm a forever slander.
Hey, I'm a Thunder fan. I'm a slander him too.
So yeah, fuck them. But yeah, appreciate
Fuck
y'all for watching.
Kevin Durant.
Moronic podcast coming out soon.
Hey, in Ron Artest Studios.
Yes, sir.
Let us know what y'all want us to react to. We love y'all.
Culture gang.
Culture gang.
Culture gang.
Drink water. We love you.
See y'all on the next one. Yeet.